You ever notice how some people just stay in your head? Like they rent space there without paying a cent. You check your phone, nothing. You check again, still nothing. And somehow they're still there. That quiet pull that makes you wonder, what did they do? What was it about that one conversation, that one text thread that got under your skin like that? Let's pull that apart. Because what nobody really tells you is this. Attraction isn't built in grand gestures. It's not the perfectly timed compliment or the cute selfie. It's built in the tiny spaces between words, in the rhythm of a reply, in that invisible dance between curiosity and fulfillment. And once you see the psychology behind that dance, you can't unsee it. 1. Your brain on a text message. The gambler effect. Your brain on a good conversation is basically a gambler at a slot machine. Not because you're desperate, but because you're hooked on uncertainty. Neuroscientists call it variable rewards. You pull the lever, send a text, and what happens next is unpredictable. Sometimes you get an instant reply, sometimes you wait 3 hours, sometimes their response is short, sometimes it's perfect, or even better than you hoped for. And that unpredictability? It lights up your dopamine system the same way gambling does. Your brain starts chasing the possibility of a reward, not the reward itself. That's why you keep checking your phone. You're not obsessed with the person, you're addicted to the anticipation. But here's where it gets beautiful. You're not manipulating anyone by understanding this. You're creating space for genuine intrigue to breathe. Think about the people who've captivated you. They weren't available 24/7. They had lives, purpose, things that pulled them away. When they finally showed up, it meant something. And that's the quiet truth. Distance doesn't kill attraction. Predictability does. 2. The open loop philosophy. Leave them wanting more. Here's where most people get texting completely wrong. They think closure equals kindness. They wrap everything up neatly, answer every question, explain every thought. But here's the paradox. Attraction lives in the ellipsis, in what's left unsaid. The conversations that stay with you are the ones that feel unfinished, not in a frustrating way, but like a movie you can't stop thinking about because the ending invites interpretation. You ever notice how the best books don't close every loop? They leave a door cracked open. Your mind walks through it on its own. Here's what that looks like in practice. Instead of saying, "Yeah, I had a great weekend, went hiking, saw some friends, cooked a big dinner," try this. Stumbled into the strangest conversation with a stranger. This weekend actually changed how I think about something. See that? It's a story, but not a conclusion. It's an invitation. Now the other person has a choice. Do they lean in or let it go? And that choice, that's where connection actually happens. Because when someone invests their curiosity in you, it's no longer passive. They're emotionally participating in the conversation. And the more they do that, the more their mind starts to fill in the blanks. They start imagining you. They start replaying your words. And suddenly, you're not just a person anymore. You're an experience. 3. The mirror and the mystery. Now, this is the real art form, the balance between reflection and mystery. The people who become unforgettable do both. They mirror just enough to make you feel seen, and hold back just enough to make you want to see more. Say someone tells you they're stressed about a presentation. You remember to ask how it went later. That's emotional attentiveness. It says, "I see you," without ever saying it outright. But mystery? That's editing. Not every thought needs to be shared. Not every update needs to be texted. When your inner world feels vast, every conversation just scratches the surface of something deeper. And that's what makes people linger. People aren't drawn to oversharing. They're drawn to depth, to the sense that there's always another layer they haven't unlocked yet. Think of it this way. Being mysterious isn't about withholding. It's about pacing revelation. If you give someone your entire story up front, they have nowhere to go. But if you reveal it in chapters, you become a narrative. And humans? We're wired to chase stories to the end. 4. Timing is an art form. Let's address the obvious. Response time. Everyone wants to know the rule. Wait 10 minutes, wait an hour, Don't double text. Forget all that. Timing isn't a tactic, it's a byproduct of a full life. If your phone is your main source of dopamine, you'll always look like you're waiting. But when you're genuinely absorbed in your work, your hobbies, your goals, your world, you naturally create space. And that space feels magnetic because it's real. When someone texts you and you're unavailable, they feel your absence. When you return, present and intentional, they feel your presence. That contrast is the heartbeat of attraction. Presence and absence, connection and space. Not strategy, rhythm. 5. The vulnerability paradox. Here's where things get really interesting. The messages that stick in someone's mind, the ones they reread, they're rarely perfect. They're raw, human, slightly unpolished. It's not, yeah, totally agree. It's, honestly, I've been thinking about what you said the other day, and I think you might be right. See the difference? One is safe, the other is alive. Vulnerability isn't about spilling your trauma or oversharing. It's about letting someone see that you feel. When you allow small cracks in the armor, when you admit uncertainty, curiosity, even hesitation, you create emotional realness. Because perfection is forgettable. Humanity isn't. It's the small confessions that make someone stay up at night thinking about you. Not because of what you said, but because of what it meant. 6. The exit that creates entrance. Now for the hardest part, knowing when to end. Most people drag conversations until they die naturally. But the ones who stay memorable know when to walk away first. Not abruptly, not coldly, but gracefully. Like, hey, I've got to run, but I'm really glad we talked about this. Let's pick it up soon. Simple, respectful, but psychologically powerful, because you're leaving while energy is still high, while curiosity is still alive. You're preserving the emotional charge instead of letting it fade into small talk. And the brain remembers emotion more than content. You're not just ending a chat, you're locking in a feeling. That's why some conversations haunt you for days. They didn't end with exhaustion, they ended with potential. 7. The real secret. Wholeness is magnetic. So here's what it all comes down to. The psychology that makes someone obsessed with you, it isn't about tricks, it's about energy. Attraction lives in the space between connection and independence. Between being seen and remaining your own person. The most magnetic people don't text to fill silence. They text to extend something already alive within them. They're interesting because they're interested in life, in learning, in self-growth, in meaning. Their texts hit different because they're coming from someone who's actually living. You can feel it, you can sense it in the way they phrase things, the timing, the confidence. They're not trying to impress, they're expressing. And that's the secret that changes everything. Stop trying to make them obsessed. Start building a life that's so rich, so textured, so yours, that anyone who glimpses it can't help but want to see more. Because ultimately, the best message you can send comes from someone who doesn't need the response to feel whole, but welcomes it when it comes as an addition to something already beautiful. So next time you pick up your phone, don't just text. Compose, create a moment, a rhythm, a spark that reminds the other person they're not just talking to you, they're experiencing you. And maybe that's the real reason some people stay on your mind long after the conversation ends. Keep living deeply, keep creating connections that mean something. And remember, you're not just exchanging words, you're shaping emotion, you're making someone feel, and that, more than anything, is what makes you unforgettable.